Hello, welcome to our new video. So today we are going to focus on zero waste. So we're going to make ourselves a nice zero waste kimono, but first we're going to make ourselves a paper version. And the paper version is how we start zero waste practitioners. We always start with what's called a paper maquette. This way it allows us to be able to practice the concept. So we use a series of folding techniques to practice the concept and be able to see what it's going to look like before we then start to scale up in fabric. So let's have a play. Come on then, let's get cracking, eh? Okay, so you're going to need a couple of things for our little experiment. This is our experiment kimono number 1. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to make it out of a sheet of A3 paper. You're going to want your sheet of paper. You're going to need a good ruler. I always have a couple of samples for inspiration. Rotary cutter, cutting mat, good sharp pencil, and my favourite ruler paper. And we're going to need to start putting some folds in. So our folds become the guidelines to tell us where to start sewing, where to stop sewing, where we're going to cut our potential piece of fabric. So we are going to make the most basic of kimonos, which I'm just going to scale over. It's this one here. So now I've got 4 rectangles, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I had my paper vertically, I folded it away from myself, put a nice crease in. That gives me 8 rectangles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, you've got your paper vertical, you've already folded it in half, and what you're going to do is you are going to cut down this line to cut the paper in half. We're going to remove that half and we're going to deal with this one. So this one, we're going to fold it towards us, and this is going to become the entry and exit, or how we're going to put the kimono on. So if we look at our kimono here, we need a way to be able to put the kimono on. So we're dealing with the body at the moment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut this line just up to the shoulder seam. Okay, so we've got the full body here. What we're going to do is we are going to open it out, and now we're going to pop this one to the side, and we're going to deal with the other half of our rectangle paper, our A3 paper. And out of this we need to make a couple of things. So we need the sleeves, and we also need a necktie, and I'm going to see if I can get a waistband out of this, because I know, because I have 4 rectangles, I know I've got plenty of space to be able to make what I need. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the neckband. So today's just about being able to play. It's not about having to measure, because all we're doing is we're just understanding the concept of us being able to play with paper and see what we can make out of it for when this is our little practice run, in other words, you know, rather than having to scale up on fabric. So I now have my neckband. So that's my neckband, and it's there on a fold. So what else do I need to make out of this? Well, if we look at my illustration, my illustration's got a waist tie, and we've also got sleeves to get out of this as well. So I know I've got a good proportion there for the sleeves. So I'm going to make my waist tie. Our waist tie is going to be about the same width as the neckband. If you want to measure it, you're welcome to measure it. But as this is going to be my first one, I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to guess for this first one, just to be able to play. Just allows me the freedom of creativity if I start this way. So we've got neckband, waistband. This is going to become our sleeves. So we've now got two pieces, and what we're going to do is fold them in half. Remember to press your creases in. And what I'll do is I'll insert a clip so that you can see this when I made it in fabric. So for my little experiment, I'm going to tape my pieces together. And when we fold it down, it now starts to look like a little... So this is going to be my collar. And I'm just going to tape my collar down. Our waist tie, and I'll insert a clip so that you can see what this one looks like. Right, onto the second one. Right, so the second one uses 3 folds. So in this one I have got my A3 sheet of paper again, and I've got 1, 2, 3 folds. And in this example, we're going to learn to make knife pleats. So knife pleats are basic folds that are going in one direction. So I've got a sheet of paper here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to have a play at making a basic knife pleat fold. So I'm going to turn it landscape view, and what I'm going to do is I folded it about the 1/3 of the way in, and then I folded it back on itself. That's me creating a Z type fold, which gives you 3 columns on your paper. So I've got 1, 2, 3 columns. So to make this into a knife pleat, what we want is all the folds going in one direction. So I have folded my sheet of paper back on itself, and I'm going to basically create a small version of a Z fold, which is there, we can see that. And then I'm going to get my ruler, and I'm going to measure 3 centimeters, which is there, because I want to have 3 centimeters distance in between. So that's the distance here. I want to have 3 centimeters distance in between where my next fold begins. So I'm going to fold the sheet of paper again on itself, and then make my little secret hidden fold. And there we have our first knife pleat. So knife pleats are folds that go in the same direction. So at the moment we've got a large piece of paper. We need to make it smaller and easier to work with. So I'm just going to create myself. You can use your scissors and cut along. So I'm going to take that section away, and we're going to deal with that later. So at the moment we've got our front body as normal. And I've got a pair of scissors here, and I'm going to make an opening for our little mannequin to be able to wear this. So there's my opening. So if we go back to our original paper maquette, you can see that this one has got a series of knife pleats, but they're facing inwards. So we're going to need to create a series of pleats here. So I'm going to use my ruler this time to help me out. I'm going to measure 2 centimeters and draw a line, 2 centimeters again and draw a line, 2 centimeters again and draw a line. So now we're going to create our knife pleat. So I've created my first pleat, but I need a gap for my second pleat, and I know that this is going to be the front neckband here. This is where the neckband's going to be. So that means that this particular fold is going to be very small. It's going to be about 1/2 centimeter to make sure I've got enough room to fit my pleats in. So that's my first side done, and I've still got my 2 pleats, and I've also got my neckband here. So let's do the other side. I've made lots of horizontal lines, and the same thing I need to do is all my lines I need to make folds. I'm going to turn it face down. And now I'm going to create my pleats. So if you remember the exercise that we did, we started folding. We made our first fold, and we need to leave a gap and then start on our second fold. So we've got our knife pleat folds here. We're going to turn it, so this is the wrong side now. And we're going to start with our next piece now. So if we have a look, a little reminder, this is our paper maquette, a little reminder on what we need to add. So we can add some sleeves to this one. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to fold this into 4 rectangles. And if we turn it round, let's turn it round and have it the right way. It's now starting to look like a sleeve. And just as another reminder, we've got a couple of little pleats here that we can create. So that's our second kimono. So this is kimono number 3, and kimono number 3 uses a different type of technique. What it uses is a box pleat. So if we have a quick look at what a box pleat is, so a box pleat is the same type of pleat. It's the same pleat that we've been folding. The only difference is it's folded a different way. So this time it's folded where the pleats face inwards, they face in towards each other. So I've got my A3 sheet of paper again, and what we're going to do, we're going to turn it landscape. We're going to fold it away from us, and then fold it away from us again. Make sure you press your folds in. Fold it in half, press that fold in, and you will have 6 rectangles when you open it out. So this is the same folding technique as the other ones, unless it's got 4 rectangles, but it's always the same principle. So we're going to separate our, and we'll deal with that one later. Same thing again, we're going to look at the front body, so we're going to cut down the centre front. That's our entry or exit line. to allow us to be able to get inside the kimono. Let's just remind ourselves. So this kimono has a small waist tie. There is also a smaller version of a neckband. And as we talked about, it's got these interesting box pleats. Measure some lines 1.5 centimeters each all the way along. So let's do that now. And now we've got our lines. I've left a space in the middle for the neckband. We need to create the fold, so we need to fold back where all these lines are. So now I've made creases in all my folds, we'll get ready to start folding for our box pleats. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold one way towards the shoulder, the other way away from the shoulder. And when we do that, it creates this little box pleat. Let's do it again. One fold towards the shoulder. We're not leaving any space this time. One fold away from the shoulder or towards our previous pleat. And that creates us these little box pleats, as you can see. And just as a recap, we're going to have a look at our previous one. We can see we've got box pleats here. So we've got I've got it wrong side up, and I'm going to put the sleeves on. So I've already got the sleeves prepped. I'm just going to put the sleeves into place, and then I'm going to tape them in. So that's my sleeves in. Let's turn it the right way around. And it's already starting to look like a kimono. I'm going to make myself a neck tie, which is just going to go here. Our waist tie. And that's my kimono all complete. So there's a fourth one that you could do, which is this one. And this one's got pin tucks. So this is a series of knife pleats, and the knife pleats are facing inwards. And then what I've done is at the end, I have turned the fabric the opposite way around. So have a play. This is pin tucks, and see what you think. So I hope you've enjoyed my video on making a paper maquette, zero waste sewing, and you've enjoyed my little experiment. I'll leave some links down below for the other videos, for the videos that will show you me sewing the kimonos, and I'll catch you soon. Bye for now.